right, good morning. Good morning, everyone. December 29th, 2021. And welcome to the Morning Brew, Beyond Charts Morning Brew. I'm Angel, your host for today. And man, oh man, all right. So markets are a little bit so let's dive in. So right now, welcome. What are we going to do here? We're going to look at some price action here, find out where the movers and shakers are for today, and see if we can analyze these markets and see if we can capture some movers right today. So right off the bat, we're going to just dissect the news to see if there's anything on the forefront that I think is going to affect the markets one way, shape, or form. Right off the bat, just from waking up this morning and looking at the markets, I'm not noticing anything of a big surprise. This Omicron spread, they're saying people are getting more infected, and we kind of knew that, but the death rate is going down, right? And clearly, as you can see, and just thinking outside the box, so if more people are getting sick and less deaths, that means that I guess we're going to get more herd immunity. I'm not a doctor, but I'm just thinking outside the box. And maybe if that is the case, maybe that's why we're seeing like the vaccine stocks getting pummeled right now, right? So, is the market kind of taking that into consideration? That is a possibility. But I don't think the news media is kind of putting that together. I'm looking at it because we're looking at it outside the box and looking at it from different perspectives. So that could possibly be it. Maybe. I don't know. If you know something, give me an opinion. Write it down in the comment. Let me know what you think, and if you think that's the case, if you think that could be possibly the case, tell me, yeah, we're probably onto something. And we're going to cover the Moderna and BNTX and those stocks to see whether or not that could be the case. And maybe there's some opportunities there for a short, maybe for it to go down. Now, Apple's down, Ammon down. There's also some news media hitting the markets. This is kind of like just me looking at different aspects. I'm going to check out CNBC because I want to see what narrative they want to portray to us today, and I'm kind of going to see that one. All right, so yes, so this is the something that I've been noticing here. So more than half of the U.S. states will raise the minimum wage to 2022, but employers are hiking pay faster. So that's on the forefront. That's been coming out, and it came out yesterday. It came out numerous times yesterday, and I kind of thought it was weird. But we're kind of coming upon wage inflation. So those words are starting to come up, especially going into 2022. So let's see how that plays out. I have noticed that Apple has been offering about $100,000 more, $200,000 to other employees, to engineers to come over and work for Apple. So, and they're going after Amazon, right? So they're going after Amazon employees, and then they're going after Avlo employees in Southern California as well. So again, watch that. Are people going to be jumping? I mean, that could be maybe something moving forward that we're going to take an eye out now. And if we take a look and we look at it from this perspective. Let's say that Apple has 70,000 employees, 80,000 employees, and they're all raising, they're all giving them $100,000 raise. Not all of them, but let's just throw out a big number. They all get $100,000 each. So is that at some line going to affect their bottom line, right? On their margins report, are they have to increase, their products prices? At some way, shape, or form, it is going to affect the stock price. And I guess that's my point. But so we're going to be eyeing that as well. So, Tesla, I mean, Elon is done selling officially. So Elon sells another 1 billion shares. We kind of knew that. And he sold just beneath his price target. So the good thing about Elon, man, talk about, betting on oneself. He sold all these shares, but he also exercised these options. And the exercise price that he bought, and again, he bought Tesla stocks. He increased his shares because he bought it at $6 per share. So if anything with Elon, man, it's like, the epiphany of, just believing in yourself, and just believing in hard work, ethics, and I think that's what he stands for is just, just waking up early and setting up your trades. And anyway, so pretty remarkable story. I love stories like that, and it kind of gives me gets me fired up. All right, but let's dive in. You guys came here to check out what's the movers and shakers. I'm not really seeing anything moving, right? So I think that what's happening is with the markets, I'm noticing that just fairly quiet, right? Fairly quiet on all fronts. Don't really think we're probably going to see light volume towards the end of the year. Are we going to go higher? I'm not noticing that we're probably going to go higher. And let's dive in. But again, anything is possible, and we're going to dive in right now. So ultimately, what are we looking at? We always start off, and the main purpose of me starting this way, I kind of want to show you how we break down the markets, right? So this is a ritual that we do every day just to kind of give us the edge on what to see, what's going to happen today. So overall, S&P, NASDAQ, and Russell, and we're looking at the daily perspective, right? So we're looking at the overall markets. We're pretty far away from the 50. We ran up. MACDs are mid-swing, right? So, and we're at all-time highs on the S&P 500, 4807, 4808. So right now we're kind of top-heavy. We have 1, 2, 3, 4 very bullish candlesticks. We broke that 47.43, which was remarkable. Now, in breakout theory, I think it's like 87%, somewhere in there, of all breakouts retest the breakout, right? Retest the level of the breakout. So is that possibly going to happen? So if it's going to happen, 47.43 should be tested in theory if we come back, right? So if we come back and this starts turning, then more likely it's going to come back. So if it doesn't go any higher. Now, if it starts going above 4808, then it's not done. It's going to continue going higher, right? So those are the key levels we're going to be watching. So, and I'm going to dive more into this in about 60 seconds. NASDAQ, we saw, again, just hit that level of resistance, didn't break out. MACDs sold off a little bit. Now, is there going to be, is it going to go higher? So we're going to be looking at 16,600 on the NASDAQ to see if it goes higher. Or is it going to pull back, right? So pull back a little bit and maybe come down. The MACD is going to start rolling over, and that's going to be an indication that maybe it's going to pull back. Now, the Russell's a little bit easier, right? Because the Russell, we knew that, it kind of bounced here fresh to the MACDs. We knew it was going to hit these highs, and it did. 22.77, 22, it's going to hit the 50-day moving average, and we're right there, guys. So, again, we knew that this area was going to stall and stop. Now, the question is it going to break through? So if these start breaking through, is there enough juice in there till the end of the year? If it starts breaking through, then maybe that could be a trade. And if we start seeing if this breaking through, that's a pretty big resistance. Maybe this one will carry these higher. But if we see in this roll over, then we're probably going to see all of them roll over, and there might be some opportunities there for the downside. Remember, we ran up pretty good, right? So Russell had 4 days as well, so did the NASDAQ, so did the S&P 500. So let's look. Now, the VIX, and what are we looking at the VIX here? We're looking at the VIX, and the VIX is pretty much, let me get rid of myself here. The VIX right now is, we're looking at the hourly perspective. And like I said, and I'm just going to reiterating to you guys how we measure the VIX and how do we utilize it in this and from this format, right? So what do we notice so far? We noticed that volatility, if we look at the range of the boxes per day on the VIX up in the upper left-hand corner, is getting smaller and smaller and smaller, which coincides with volume being lighter, and lighter. So we had 2 days, right? And this week so far, volatility has been dismal, right? That's why we see the VIX at 17. Now, key levels to watch. If we start noticing fear entering into the marketplace. Now, I'm hearing whispers that a lot of people expect, 2022 to, for it to be a huge sell-off. Like, well, maybe not. I don't know if that's possible. I do know a couple of things. I do know that in years past, midterm, right? When we get into the midterm years, Q1 and Q2s are not, they're not bullish, right? They're kind of dismal. They don't move as much. So you have to pick and choose your winners, right? So again, we're going into midterm years next year, and Q1, Q2. Q1's next year, the next week. So right off the bat, if that is true, testing, testing. All right. No, 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 nothing. All right. Shit. All right. All right. Can you hear me? You can't hear me. All right.